how to use Google Calendar. Good day, folks, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how this powerful tool can make your life a whole lot easier and a whole lot more organized. So we're going to go through some of the general features here, a bit of the interface. I'm going to show you how to alter your general calendar settings. I'm also going to show you how to alter and change specific settings for specific calendars. I'm also going to show you how you can import and export calendars from different platforms and to different platforms. And then I'm going to show you how to create a new calendar, a new event, a new task, an appointment. So let's get going. The first thing over here you can see on the left hand side is a create button and an overview of a calendar. So you can go ahead and you can have your main calendar in the main part of your page, and then on the left hand side you have this smaller calendar which you can scroll through if need be. Going down over here you have a list of all of your calendars, and then you also have a list of all of the other calendars that are part of your account. Going over at the top, we have the menu that we can open and close, and then we have, of course, the date, the view that you are seeing currently, and over here you can change month to month, and here with this drop down menu you can change over either to a different month, or if you're going over, you will be going into a different year. On the right hand side, on the top of the page, you have a search icon which allows you to search for any events or any tasks within your calendars, and then you have a support button, and then we get into our settings menu. On the right hand side there are just some general buttons over here. Here you can change your view from day, week, month, year. You can also change it into a schedule. You can also change it into a 4-day view. And then you have some options. So you can either show weekends or not. You can show declined events, and then you can also show scheduled appointments. Once you have pretty much figured out this interface, let us jump into our settings. So on the settings button, we're going to tap on the gear icon and the settings. And over here, you can see on the left hand side is a menu with all of the settings that you will need. So under the general settings, you can see that there's language and region settings, and this is important. Of course, you want your calendar in the correct language, and you also want it in the correct date format as well as in the correct time format. You can also change your time zone options here, so you can change the actual time zone, and you can display your secondary time zone if you have one selected. You can also have your primary time zone updated when you change locations, if you want to toggle that on or off. Then we have a world clock. You can have that toggled on, so you can have that visible on your calendar, and you can add different time zones to this world clock. Then you have some event settings. So the default duration of your event may be 60 minutes. It may be more than that. You can just set it as an average. The next thing you want to do over here is you can have a look at your default guest permissions, and that allows you to manage who gets to see what and how they get to see it. And if you go down a little bit more, you get your notifications. Now, notifications will allow you to know what events, tasks, or appointments are coming up, and here you can set either desktop notifications, alerts, or you can put it off altogether. Some of the other things over here you can change is the notification if I have responded yes or maybe. So your notification comes up and you can click yes, no, maybe, and then you'll be notified because of that. Having a look at the view options here, you can have the weekends, the declined events, as well as the week numbers. And then as you go down, you can change what day the week starts on. You can also set a custom view. So previously it was 4 days. You can change it however much you want. And then there are alternative calendars over here that you can also create. Going into the events from Gmail, basically you can sync everything that is coming in from Gmail. So if you're booking an airplane ticket or a bus ticket, or if you're doing anything else that involves Gmail account, you can have that automatically synced onto your calendar, so you don't have to do it manually. Also, they do offer you some keyboard shortcuts, which is always helpful. And then you have an offline mode. This means that you can still view your calendar if there is no internet connection. And I always think that this is a brilliant idea because you may not always have connection. You may be in areas which you're struggling with the connection, and you'll still be able to view everything on your calendar. Going now onto the left hand side, you can see settings for my calendars, and over here you can actually click on specific calendars and you can go through the calendar settings for each and every one of these calendars individually. So the things that we just changed now was generally for all the calendars, but now if you want to further define one calendar differently to another, you can go in to each of them and you can change all of the settings that you see over here. One of the other settings on the left hand side over here is the import and export. So of course you're going to jump in over here, and like I mentioned earlier, you can select a file from your computer and you can import it into this calendar, and you can choose which one you would like to import it into if you have multiple calendars. This means if you have events on another platform or a calendar on another platform, you can very easily go ahead and import that and have everything managed in one place right over here. The same will go for exporting. You can now select which calendar you are exporting and you can tap on export, and it is now creating an export file, as you can see on the top over here, and it is a zip file. So now you can take this exported file and you can take it into any one of the other calendars that you are using, and you can sync everything up quickly and easily. Getting back now onto our main page, we're going to open up this menu over here and we are going to now create a new calendar. So at the bottom over here, you will see other calendars and a plus sign, and we can add now a new calendar. So you can either subscribe to a calendar, we can also create a brand new calendar, we can browse calendars of interests, we can then just enter a URL, or we can import a calendar. Right now we're going to tap on create new calendar, and right over here you can now enter all the details. So we're going to put in workout calendar, and you can see now that you can also enter a description. So this may help you to understand what the calendar is for. If you're having other people also view the calendar, a description is always great so that other people that are involved in the calendar or are also using the calendar may also understand a bit more as to what the calendar is about. You can now also choose the time zone that your calendar will run in, and then over here it states that I myself am the owner, and then you can go ahead and you can tap on create calendar, and it says the creation is in progress and it'll just take a few minutes. Let us get back now on to the main page again, and as you can see over here on the left hand side, the workout calendar has now been created on the left hand side. So what we can do now is you can delete it or unsubscribe from it just by tapping on the X. They also have a couple other options here. You can change the color of the actual calendar, you can display only your workout calendar, you can hide this calendar from the list, and then you can go ahead into settings and sharing, and it'll take you back into this page with a few more options. So you can really define what it is about this calendar that you would like to bring out. Again, it's just going to take your general calendar settings as default, but if you want to make any further changes, this is where you will do it from. Now on the left hand side you have a big create button, and there's two ways to do this. So the first thing you want to do is tap on that create button. You can see that there is an event, a task, and an appointment schedule. So what we can do is we can tap on event, and the window that's brought up now is you can add in a title for this event. Now let's say we've got a meeting, and we can now, if we've chosen the wrong button, we can change it into a task and an appointment schedule. The next thing you want to do is choose a date as well as a time range. You can also tap on find a time, and it will open up a new window for you to select a specific time. You can now also add some guests to this event, which means if you're not the only person attending this event, you may want to create it and then share it with others so they can also see it. This will now also be shared onto whatever calendar they are using. You can see here now you can add Google Meet video conferencing. So if it is a virtual meeting, you can just do it all over here in one place without having to recreate it in Google Meet. And then you can add a location if there is a location. You can also add a description and attachments. And then you can see over here again the owner of the meeting. You can go ahead, you can tap on save, and that event will be saved. Now, let's say we want to create a task. We can either go over to the left hand side and tap on task. And the process is pretty much the same. You're going to go ahead, add a title, you're going to add a description, you're going to define the date as well as the time that you would like this task to be carried out at. And then you can see over here that there's a list, and this list now will be synced with the my tasks list. So if you go in and you create different lists, you can now select which list this task will go onto. Again, you're going to go ahead and tap on save. Now, I want to show you one other way to create an event or a task or an appointment. So instead of going into the create button on the left hand side, you're going to go ahead and actually look for the day that you want to hold this event. So let's say it's on the 9th of January. All we're going to do is tap on that and this window opens again. Now you can select either the event or the task. Again, you're going to put in your appropriate details and hit save. Creating an appointment schedule. Over here again, you can hit create on the left hand side and you can tap on the appointment schedule. You can now see a week view or a day and hour view. So every day has a few time slots. They go in hour increments, and on the left hand side you can add a title. You can also add an appointment duration, and then there are some general availability settings over here. So it says set when you're regularly available for appointments. You can now alter all of this over here. So Sunday we are unavailable, but from Monday all the way through to Friday we are available from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can now click this button to make this day unavailable. You can also add another time period in this day, and then you can just copy this time and you can duplicate it along all of the other days without having to change them all individually. Again, you can alter the time zone. You can also have a look at the scheduling window. So this scheduling window limits the time range during which your appointments can be booked. So you can change that altogether. Let's say you have longer appointments and you also need to travel, and so this time will overlap your 1 hour appointment, so you can widen that up a little bit. Once you're done with that, you can continue down and there's date availability that you can change, and then you can also have a look at some booked appointment settings. You can see over here that you can have a buffer time, so that basically is the time between your appointment slots, and then the maximum bookings per day. You can also change the color coding. So let's say perhaps you have different clients for different things, or you're running different businesses, or you're doing different things, you want to color code that, you can go ahead and do it right over there. Once you're done, you're going to tap on next on the bottom of the page, and over here you get to add a description. And once you're done, you can tap on save at the bottom of the page, and you will have one of these appointment schedules. One more thing that I do want to show you, if you see that you have an event on a day, as you can see over here, you can just click down and drag it over to another day if you need to change that, and it'll move over to the day that you drop it on. Also, if you click on it, it will open up sort of a summary, and if you want to now, you can mail this event. There's a few other options over here. You can also duplicate or publish the event. You can delete the event, and then you can edit the event. So let's say some of the details have changed, such as the location or the time or whatever else, you can just change all of that over here. Again, then you're going to go over and tap on the blue save button, and there it is. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Google Calendars is an amazing tool for organization. I hope it's really helpful. If you have any comments, drop it in the section below, and we will see you in another awesome video. Happy organizing, folks. Cheers.